Hello, chat. Are you having a good day? I'm not having a good day because I'm going to talk about the Jews. It's one of the things you're not supposed to talk about because it's very risky. You may end up saying the wrong thing. Apparently, I looked it up. Like, is there any insurance when you talk about the Jews? Because, like, when I was a doctor, you know, you have insurance. Because when you perform surgery on many people, like, eventually there is a chance that through carelessness, not through fault of your own, it's just like you're careless, you end up hurting someone, right? And so, like, the insurance pays, because it's reasonable after, you know, cutting open 10,000 people performing surgery that at some point you will fuck up. And so, like, if I talk about a lot of topics and then I talk about the Jews, like, is it possible to have insurance? Like, if I get canceled, for instance, by the holy ADL, would someone, like, pay for the damages, right? Because it's like, if you talk about it too often, eventually. And I think, like, there isn't, which is why people don't talk about the Jews quite often. So they're like these mystical people. You know, like they have these traditions that no one knows about because no one talks about them. So anyway, no, V, what the fuck are you doing? I'm talking about the Jews. Alright, no, like this, seriously. This is an interesting thing that I didn't know exists. And when I found out about it, I was like, no fucking way. Like, there is no fucking way that this is but it is. It's about New York City, right? Did you guys know that there is a wire that goes around New York City? I didn't fucking know. Well, it is. So like, why is there a wire going around New York City? Like, look, listen to this. It costs $100,000 to maintain it every year, right? And apparently, like, there's a rabbi that goes around New York City to make sure that the wire is still there. Sometimes the wire gets tangled. Other times, anti-Semitic elements try to cut the wire. Cut the cord. Like, why did they do that? Well, apparently, right? Orthodox Jews, like, not all Jews, not all of them, but like some of them, the Orthodox ones, they have to follow rules, chat. They have to follow a lot of rules because God gave them rules. Unfortunately, like, some of those rules cause inconvenience. Apparently, there is one rule that on the Sabbath, you're not allowed to work. And so, like, the question, like, what is work? You know, like they start with the deconstruction. They start with the critical theory. What is work? Well, unfortunately, their holy texts actually do describe what work is. And it's like the erection of a temple or something. And all the elements that are required in order to do that. So, like, for instance, writing, calculating, carrying stuff around. Like, all of these are work. And so, you're not allowed to carry stuff outside of your home. Like, if you have a package, for instance, if you have a suitcase, a briefcase, you can't carry it. And now, back in the day, like, that was something that was easy to do, you know? It's like, okay, it's Sabbath, stay the fucking doors. Nowadays, it's a lot more difficult. Nowadays, it's like, well, you gotta go out. It's 2025, time is money, clock is ticking. So, what they decided, it's like, okay, well, hold on a little bit. Like, we know what work is, right? Like that is described. But what is home? See, like, can you know, like, what is a home? What is a home? What if it's the fence around my property? Right? So, like, now I'm carrying the briefcase and I'm outside, but I'm technically still at home because it's inside my property. All right. They built a fence. But the fence is inconveniencing. It's ugly. You know, like, imagine around every Jewish residence a massive fence. Does it need to actually be a fence? Like, must it be a fence? What if it's just one wire? And so, around New York City, a wire has been erected. One of the biggest in the fucking world. I'm not kidding. Look it up. You think I'm joking? Again, I'm telling you, they're like mystical people. You don't know these things. No one talks about it. Like, even I talking about it might cause stirs of anti-Semitism, according to the ADL. I mean, I don't fucking know. Apparently for them, a frog and the OK sign are like the anti-Semitism. And it's like, well, holy shit. But I just found it interesting. It's interesting. Like, this is a beautiful cultural thing that most people don't know about. And I was like reading about it. And I was like, no fucking way. Is there really a wire around New York? Apparently it is. Yes. And like they have like their entire technology. Like they dominate their environment in order to adhere to this orthodoxy. Like, for instance, the elevators. They stop at every floor so that they don't have to press a button during the Sabbath. But the most interesting aspect, and this is like something that I didn't know. Again, like, you can Google it. This is well documented. Like, I don't think it's anti-Semitism to call it. They have a Sabbath goy. Did you know about that? Like, that's an official designation, a Sabbath goy. Like, when I heard it, I was like, well, did Paul come up with this? Is it like a 4chan? No. Like, every Sabbath, again, like, they're not supposed to work, right? But like, what if we have someone to work for us? And actually, like, the Sabbath goy has a very important function. Like, he is supposed to mind read the environment, right? Like, if he doesn't turn the lights on, they can't ask him to turn the lights on, and they keep the Jews in the dark. Why are you laughing? This is real. I'm not making shit about it. Okay? Like this is... dude, like, look it up if you don't believe me. I'm not bringing anti-Semitism here. In Israel, Orthodox Jews are exempt from the draft. Well, it's kind of the same in America, right? Like, if you're a conscientious objector, they call it, right? So, like, if you're a Quaker, if you're, I guess, like, part of any religion, I think, like, even Orthodox Jews, like, if you're part of a religion, it's like, I do not want to spill the blood of my enemy. I believe in peace, and, like, okay, well. Holy $47, says SRC Baker. As a ham radio operator, I'm gonna drive a mobile setup to New York City and tap into that wire and use it as a huge fucking antenna. Careful with that. It's not yours. Again, like, to you, it sounds like a wire. But for an entire group of people, it holds significant cultural importance, right? And so, if they catch you, again, like, I think, like, every Tuesday, a rabbi goes with a car. I'm not kidding. Like, he goes with a car and goes around New York City and watches the fucking wire. And whenever there's a problem, he calls for someone. Fixes the wire. The wires don't tend to be metal. How the fuck do you know so? He knows too much. He knows too much. He apparently has knowledge of events that even I don't know. Okay, hold on. I just figured out why it's called the Daily Wire. I'm going to make a video about that. The Daily Wire. Right? Like, it's going to be on my main channel. I hope I don't get banned. Oh, God. You see too many Jews in Brooklyn, but do they see you? That's the real question. Do anti-Semites ever intentionally fuck with the wire? I mean, I don't think so. It's kind of difficult to fuck with it because it's really high up. And you can get in trouble. Again, like, it's just a piece of wire, right? Like, it's not... You don't gain anything besides causing ass hurt. And even if you do cause ass hurt, like, let's say the rabbi noticed, do you think, like will he inform the community? I don't fucking know. Like, I would need to talk to a rabbi to figure out. Like, surely it has happened. Because, like, again, you're banking on the fact that entire wire holds, right? Like, there's no gap in it. There's, like, right, like, during the Sabbath, for the Jewish people to maintain their customs, they need to make sure that wire actually surrounds the entire New York City. What is the likelihood that it does? Well, pretty high on one day, right? But, like, if you look at it over the course of 50 years, pretty likely that at some point it did break, right? And some people did commit sin. So, like I'm pretty sure they have a protocol, a contingency for that. Can you lock up the Jews like it's COVID, if that's the case? Like, if they find out that the wire has been cut, and then they're being informed, wire has been cut. Back to your homes. Back to your home. Return to your place. Locked in. Lock it down. Quarantine. Wire has been cut. No, actually, hold on. Like, they can still walk, just not carry anything. Drop whatever you're carrying. Drop it. Drop the briefcase. Drop it now. Call the Sabbath guy. He will pick it up. No, actually, you can't do that. You can't tell the Sabbath guy. He has to do it by himself. Maybe you can call him and just look at the briefcase expectingly. You know, like, not say it, just look at it. The vast majority of the New York City residents don't notice them. Look, I'm telling you, there is such a thing called the Sabbath guy. Hold on. Let me see if there's articles about it. Ah, here we go. It's on Wikipedia. See, I can't be anti-Semitic. It's on Wikipedia. A Sabbath goy, Yiddish, Hebrew, right? Goy shel Shabbat. And they have a plural. Like, you can have one Sabbath goy and another one, and they form the Sabbath goyim. Is a non-Jewish person who is employed by Jews to perform certain types of work. Melaka, the Jewish religion law, halakha, prohibits a Jew from doing on the Sabbath. The term is a combination of the sabos, the term Sabbath in Ashkenazi Jewish usage, goy or Gentile or non-Jew. The word goy, which translates literally as nation, has over time acquired meaning of someone who is not Jewish. In modern usage in English, the word goy is sometimes seen as derogatory. This is a point of discussion in the Jewish community. See, like, you can't define what a slur is. Only the academics get to say, all right, from this day forward, the word retard is a slur. And from the decree to social media to the masses. But, like, if you say, look, I feel insulted. Why? Well, I've never been called a goy in a positive way, you know? It's like, it's always when they refer to me as such. I feel it that it's being used disparagingly. Can we not say it's a slur? Well, no, now the academics are deliberating. Well, is it? I don't know. Not really. I don't, you know? According to Adi Ophir, this usage started to take place from the 1st and the 2nd century onwards. They argue that before this time, no crystallized dichotomy between Jewish and non-Jewish existed in Judaism. Well, something must have happened in that century. Well, I wonder what took place. What happened during the 2nd century and onwards. On Shabbat, there are numerous restrictions, and certain types of works are prohibited, such as construction. The rabbis ruled that asking a non-Jewish person to violate Shabbat on self is generally forbidden. But under certain circumstances, the rabbi allow it, especially to heat the oven on winter days in the northern countries. A Shabbat goy is not needed where life is at stake, or in the case there would be a resemblance of danger to life. So basically, I assume what they're saying is like, on Sabbath, you're not allowed to work. But look, if grandma has a heart attack on the fucking Sabbath, you're getting to go to the fucking car, right? Like, you're not calling the Sabbath goy. You're like, grandma, hurry up. We're going with the car. Taking the vehicle. Originally, the job was often given to a poor woman. And to compensate was a form of shalar. Later, money was given, although not on Sabbath. Or not directly to the worker. Due to the restrictions. Oh my fucking God. So, like, you need a handler. You need a handler, chat. Right? So, like, if I want to be the Sabbath goy, I talk to them, and they will tell me, look, I can't ask you to break the Sabbath, but, like, you need to study yourself. You need to figure out what our needs are, right? Like, educate yourself. But we can't pay you directly. You need a handler. We'll pay your wife. According to Ronald J. Eisenberg, today the proliferation of electronic timers has virtually eliminated the need for the Sabbath goy, who once played an important role in the Eastern Europe. Holy shit, I could have been one. My God. Dude, it's a good job. Like, why are you guys disparaging it? Like, can you understand the level of networking you can make? Like the level of personal connections just by shaking hands with the people there? And on top of that, it's getting paid while you do literally jack shit. Oh my goodness, turn the lights on. Click. Oh my goodness, turn the lights off. Click. Oh, turn on the oven. Blip. it's like, okay, and you get paid for that. You get fucking paid for that, and you get to meet everyone that comes over there. You get to talk to them. Hey, I'm trying to start a business. You know, it's a rough economy. Do you guys know anyone that hires anyone? Oh my fucking god! Like all of a sudden, you have hands raised up. But unfortunately, right? Like we've been replaced. Probably with an AI waifu now. That can you have an AI waifu as a Sabbath guy? That would be great. 40k servitors. You know what? Now that you mention it. I can't see it. Indenture servitude definitely spun off of that exactly. Dude, this is not indenture servitude. Number one, you get paid, and number two, you don't actually do difficult jobs. You don't lift shit. Okay, like your life isn't in danger. You're in a luxurious apartment. And you're pretty much like a janitor, but like more respect. You're kind of like a butler without the school of butlering. By the way, do they still have butler schools? You can't talk business over Sabbath. Yeah, but you talk it after. You still discuss it with them, right? Like they know you. It's not like you have to go just on the Sabbath. Like my cleaning lady, for instance, right? Like I don't discuss business with her while cleaning. But if I happen to see her before and after, of course I talk business. And if she comes to me with a problem, of course I help her. She's my fucking cleaning lady. I pay her $10. She cleans really well. I'm starting to think that I should pay her 20. Times are rough. Dude, it's Eastern European market prices. I'm not undercutting her, just so you know. Like this is how much you pay in Eastern Europe. She does a good job. Yeah. What is a butler school? A butler school is a place where you learn how to butler. You know Batman had a butler? There's an entire tradition. This is what I'm wondering. If it... Oh, yeah. Okay, so it is a thing. Oh, my goodness. They have women in it now. Oh, holy shit. Can you have a female butler? Right. We got a video.
Well,
Becoming a
friend,
butler.
Let me tell you about the
an insight into the glamorous school of butlering.
Glamorous world of butler.
Why is it? There we go.
Butler school. Becoming a butler is no easy task. It requires a certain level of finesse, impeccable manners, and an ability to cater to the whims and desires of the affluent. That's why many aspiring butlers choose to attend specialized butler schools to refine their skills and learn the art of service. Butler schools are like finishing schools for individuals who aspire to work in luxury homes, estates, or even high-end hotels. These schools provide comprehensive training in various aspects of butlering, such as table service, wine and spirits, house management, etiquette, and even valet services.
Right, so like insanely posh, complete money waste, not practical, but with prestige because it has been grandfathered in, chat. There's like a lot of rules and etiquettes. Like as far as I knew, butlering was only for men. Like only a manly man did butlering. Women did maid. Like a woman is a maid, right? But imagine you have like a large mansion. Okay, like this is not for everyone. This is not for you. Like literally, it's not for you. Like Marvel used to say, right? No, this is like for people that have a house with 25 rooms. Okay? Imagine that. Are you going to clean all of the fucking rooms? No, you need staff. Like if you're that rich to afford that house, you're that rich to afford staff. Right? So like the Zuckerbergs, the Jeff Bezoses, the Elon Musks, probably not Elon Musk. But like other people, like they need staff. Usually these large houses also have like large families. But anyway, right, so you're going to have servants, right? And in charge of the servants, you have like female servants and male servants. And in charge of the male servants was the butler. In charge of the female service was the chief maid, right? So like they had different tasks. Anyway, the idea was that the butler would live in your house, right? So it's not like a normal job where you call the cleaning lady, she cleans and she leaves. No. Like the guy lives there, and the whole idea is to understand the house, to know the roles of everyone, to actually speak with all the members of the household, and more importantly, to know your needs. Right? Like his whole idea is to organize the staff to such a way that you don't have to tell him. Like he already knows what you want. And there's like a couple of etiquettes. Like for instance, whenever you buy a car, you're actually supposed to give him like the old car, right? So like there's certain advantages of being a butler. Like for instance, if your Masa drives a Rolls Royce and Masa buys a new car, you get his Rolls Royce, right? Like that's part of the unspoken contract, like kind of like tipping. Again, this is like for the extravagant rich. It's not for mortals like you and I, right? Like it's even if we put all our families together and we put all of the wealth together, we still would not be able to live that life where you need a butler. But anyway, right, and it's also most of an English tradition. Like the Americans have it as well, but not as prominent. Regardless, one of the other things is that the butler is supposed to be single. There's no marrying on the job, right? So like this is why I'm surprised that now I see women there. SRC Baker, thank you for the $20. Holy shit. My grandmother and aunt owned a multi-apartment house in a Jewish neighborhood, and they rented one of their apartments to a Jewish couple. And on Friday evening, they asked my cousins to turn things on for them like the TV. And now it was a great opportunity for your cousin to ask for money and compensation and... Well, actually, hold on a little bit. Like, you're pretty high up, right? Like, you got a well-respected job. I know what you do. Is this how you got the job, huh? Like, through your cousin? Did your cousin ask that Jewish family? It's like, okay, listen. I will turn on the television for you, but I have a cousin. They're really good. They're really good at financing and IT, and they're really smart. Do you happen to have a position for them? Is this how it went down? I'm starting to think this is how it went down. This is how SRC Baker has so much cash to pay me. Through nepotism and family connections. Are they like monastic housekeeping? Yes. I'm actually surprised that you didn't know. Like, I thought this was pretty common knowledge, but yeah. Obviously, I don't know like how much of this still carries on in 2025. Like, maybe rich people feel uncomfortable living with, like, the staff in their own house, but yeah, no, it's something that used to happen in Britain back in the day. Stop getting into the banking conspiracy fee. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to step down. Otherwise, I'll be defunded. Is it good? Is it good pay to be a butler? Well, let's see. You get to live in an extremely wealthy home. That's not yours, but like still, like you live in the most opulent place imaginable. You get fed very well. Like you don't have to worry about food. Rich people do feed their staff well. You get to make connections. Like everyone that comes in there, like they will eventually know you. You get free cars. And the price isn't that bad either. So yeah, I do think that being Alfred for Batman is quite profitable. But it's not necessarily about the profit, right? Like, most people don't do it because they want to get wealthy. Like, this is not a career opportunity. It's a lifestyle. Like, if you're a peasant and you want to spin around the nobility and spin around the high classes, yeah, this is one way to do it. And also, you can sleep with a maid. Oh, there's that. You could probably steal a little without them realizing. Why would you fuck up your life like that? I don't think they will even call the cops on you. Like okay, listen. Most rich people, if you pinch a little off the top, they won't notice. But what if they do? Right? So like, what are you gaining? You're gaining like a couple of dollars. And you risk losing your entire career and reputation. No one will hire you. Everyone will know who you are. Everyone will be disgusted with you. Like for wealthy people, to like you need to imagine this, right? Like they just found out that they invited the guy in their house that steals. It's not the fact that they stole. It's like, why didn't you ask me? That's probably what the rich person is going to say. Like, why didn't you ask me if you needed money? And then they're going to be absolutely disgusted and abhorred with you. They're going to tell all of their relationships, all of their family. The school that did your butlering is going to lose prestige. Like the idea of stealing doesn't even come into their brain. It's a thought that is so outlandish, so foreign that they can't even conceive it. They'll always look at you as serving. Yes and no, actually. It's kind of like... Give me a sec. If you have a person that works for you, like let's say the gardener, and you know the gardener since you were a kid, and you talk with him, right? Like, he does his gardening shit, but, like, he also talks with him. He has a personality. He's a human being, right? Now, if you talk with him since he's a kid, like, you get to know him, and you don't treat him like a slave. Yes, he is a servant, but he's your servant. And so, like, it's not that he's not going to experience disrespect, right? Like, he's not going to have people look down on him. Like, obviously, there's always that gap, right? Well, he is down there and the masa is up here. But overall, if you do your job good, and like a butler at the butlering school, they teach you how to carry yourself with respect. Like, they teach you how to command the room, how to walk in the room, and it's like, it's kind of difficult to be an asshole to that guy. Like, if you're a butler and you're a professional, they will look at you not in a way where they're looking down. They may even look you differently than they look to their peers, because you're their butler. You're always there. When they have a problem, you know. When they need something, you're there. And so there's a different emotion. No, it's not. I mean, obviously, it depends on the rich person, right? Like, you can always end up with an asshole. But you can also end up in Donald Trump's house. Like, I don't think Donald Trump is an asshole to his staff, right? So there's that. Wonder if the butler as a part of the family is a media artifact or real. I actually know a family... a friend of mine when I was a kid was the kid of some very wealthy doctors. And they actually had not a butler, but a maid. And the maid slept there, she cooked food, she did everything. Their relationship was pretty good. Like, they were treating her as part of the family. They were just talking with her. It's like, okay, what are you going to clean tomorrow? What are you going to cook tomorrow? What are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it was, yeah, like, they didn't treat her as a servant. She was expected to do the house chores, but, like, they talk to her as if she's family. So I guess it depends, right? Like, from place to place. The thing with the media where, you know, they're treating the butler as part of the family, I don't think it's far-fetched. Obviously, I don't think it's also necessarily the norm, but yeah. All right. Let's look at the ADL. Look, you guys, you dragged me to an interesting conversation, but it's not what the title of the video is. Where's the ADL video? Hold on, because they were very concerned. Usually, when the ADL is concerned, I'm getting concerned as well. It's like, oh my goodness, like something must have happened. The ADL is concerned. Ah, here we go. I found the concerned ADL. Okay, hold on. Let me zoom it in, and then I'll play to you, and we'll see if you guys can agree or disagree with him.
Jewish people.
Right, Jewish people. All right.
So
the moment I talked about it. Okay.
So we run surveys every 2 to 3 years.
They run surveys.
Like a sentiment analysis.
A sentiment analysis. Look, you can see his face. Like, this is, you know, a test that I once took. My parents wanted to see if I'm retarded. And they showed me, like, faces of people. And some were smiling, others were angry. And they were like, can you tell this emotion? And I was like, happiness. And they were like, yes. Upset. A Hego face. You know, the one that women making? God damn it. I choked myself with spit, chat. I'm dying. See, this is how God punishes me for... Anyway, right. What is the yellow, like there's a yellow symbolism, chat. Symbolism. Probably a pious person. raises awareness of something. I don't know what it is. But like this face, right? Like concern. Concern. Like I looked at YouTube and I saw like a penis this big. And I was really worried. It's like, what is the world coming to? Like that belongs on Pornhub, not on YouTube, right? Anyway, right. Big concern. Let's listen to the concerns.
So we run surveys every 2 to 3 years, like a sentiment analysis to try to gauge how the majority population feels about Jewish people. So in this...
How does that even work, though? How does that even work? So, like, no, seriously, like, I'm trying to picture myself as an American. I'm enjoying my apple pie. It's, well, probably not on Sabbath, right? Like, we talked about it. They can't work on Sabbath. So, like, Monday, I'm tired. I'm coming from work. I'm enjoying my apple pie. And all of a sudden, what the fuck, you know? And you're picking it up. It's like, what the fuck is it? We're running a survey. Would you like to participate? And like, I don't know, like maybe, just maybe, for the sake of the argument, I'm like, you know what? They caught me in a really good mood. Hey, Kevin, I will answer your question. How do you feel about the Jews? Is this how it goes? Is this like, no, seriously, like how do you respond to that? Are you like, who the fuck are you? You know, like that sounds like a honeypot. Sounds like the feds are calling. Sounds like that's the ringtone for a debanking. I'm just saying. Anyway. Right. So they're running this survey. They're asking people, how do you feel about the Jews?
In this case, we do a domestic survey in the United States. Mm-hmm. And what I can tell you briefly is that we've been doing these surveys, I should say, since the 1960s. So we have a lot of information, a lot of longitudinal data. We're a very data-driven, evidence-based organization.
Yeah, that thinks Pepe the Frog is an anti-Semitic symbol, that believes every single swastika posted on the internet is a malicious intent. Like, none of them can be done by people who are edgy. None of them can be done by shit posters or by Jewish people themselves mocking the thing. No. Right? The OK sign, anti-Semitic, but you are a very serious organization. Yes, absolutely. Very serious. Extremely so. You said that Steam is an anti-Semitic platform. I have never seen anti-Semitism on Steam, but like I guess you have better eyesight than I do. You got better, like, seriously, the last place on fucking earth that I would expect to find anti-Semitism was Steam. Why? Because people go there to fucking play video games. They don't go there to talk. They don't go there to debate. You know, I know that the feminists are saying everything is political, but last time I checked, when I go into Counter-Strike, the only political thing is if you're a woman or not. And if you're a woman, they try to kick you. I'm not kidding. Like, I would understand the misogynistic shit, right? But, like, the anti-Semitism, I haven't seen it on Steam. But they did. What? Pepe the Frog. Oh, okay. Well, now that you changed the definition, I guess. So now when you're going to say this organization is anti-Semitic, I will assume that they have Pepe the Frog in there, right? Anything else? No, that's enough. But they're a serious organization. Sure. Yeah, whatever, buddy. Yeah, you have charts, stats, and data.
And basically, in the last 5 years, intense, elevated anti-Semitic attitude.
See, they're blaming it on the Biden administration. They're blaming it on the Biden administration. Like last 5 years, right? Was it Trump? No. Were the Republicans in charge? No. By the way, I'm actually curious. When did the war started with Palestine? Is it 5 years? Has it been 5 years? When did the Palestine-Israeli conflict start? No, not the one in 1948. Fuck that shit. The one where where Hamas initiated. When did Hamas did its terrorist attack, Chad? Let's see. Oh my goodness, you go on Wikipedia, there's an entire Okay, 2020? No. Oh shit, it is in 2020. Okay, so for the last 5 years. Oh my fucking god, chat, look. How did I manage to connect it? Is it 2023? Wikipedia is telling me 2020. October 2023. Okay. Sex with Hitler is deeply anti-Semitic. That is an actual video game. I don't understand like why a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, like sex with Hitler is allowed to stay on Steam. Do you think the Nazis would have allowed sex with Hitler to stay on Steam? No. So because sex with Hitler is on Steam, it proves that Gabe Newell is not a Nazi. No self-respecting Nazi would allow that game to exist. And seriously, like, use your brain. Like, think about it. Am I wrong what I'm saying, huh? It sounds funny when I put it into words, but like, think it through. I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. I think like the National Social Arbeit Party of Germany would have not allowed that game to exist. I think they would have burned it with the rest of the book burnings. They didn't have video games back then, but like if you were to write it down, right, that you have like a book called Sex with Hitler, they would burn that shit. So the fact that Gabe Newell allows that video game there proves that he is not a Nazi. It was said that Hitler didn't enjoy sex. What is the result of methamphetamine withdrawal? Or methamphetamine addiction? Huh? Because I know paranoia is one of them. Like, for those of you who don't know, the Nazis used meth. I'm not kidding. They used it as combat stimulants. Like, they just discovered it, right? So, like, the side effects, the science wasn't in yet, okay? Like, the Nazis, do you know what they needed? They needed Dr. Fauci. They have Dr. Mendele, but he wasn't the science. Dr. Fauci was the science. If Dr. Fauci was back then, they would tell the Nazis, like, look, these combat drugs, yes, like, they do make your soldiers pretty fucking brave, but it's a little bit problematic. And the Fuhrer himself partook into the miracle drug, which is why you can see him, like, shivering in certain... Apparently, it doesn't do well for the health. Uppers usually turbocharge your libido. Don't really know about men. Well, some like turbocharge it, but they burn the receptors, right? And so, like, you may actually get initial kick out of it, but, like, after a while, they can turn you into a vegetable. The literal Nazis did not have a problem with teaching a dog the salute. Yeah, that's actually funny. But well, they did have a problem. No, they did have a problem. They actually did go after the guy, but then they dropped the charges because they were like, look, we have more pressing matters. like, we actually need resources. What the fuck are you doing? Meanwhile, the British didn't have that problem. They don't need more resources. They can just print more money. So there's that. Anyway, right. Let's listen to the gentleman from the ADL.
Dudes have more than doubled their share of the population. In 2019, it was 11% of the U.S. population had intense anti-Semitic attitudes. Today, in the last 5 years, it's gone from 11 to 24%.
Well, I mean, we can explain that, right? They don't really like to talk about this, but obviously when they say the U.S. population, for some reason, they don't break it down on demographics. Like we saw what happened when they decided to go after Stop Asian Hate. Did you notice how fast that dropped? Right? Because, like, the implication is like, those pesky white Christians. The white Christians, actually, especially the evangelicals and the boomers, are really pro-Israeli. And there's a reason for that, okay? Like, a lot of us, when we talk about Christianity, we talk about the digital Christianity. You know, the shit you find on Discord or on the internet. Like usually some memes with Jesus or people LARPing as if they're Christians or they're born again. Yeah. That's not really what touching grass looks like. If you go outside, like, there are actual Christians, especially evangelicals, which rely on sola scriptura. In other words, they don't have tradition, they don't have ritual. It's like, well, if the Bible says, it says in the Bible. And they even, like, drop the psalm and drop the quote. right? Do you guys know those people? If you're an Orthodox, you don't know people like that. If you're a Catholic, it's unlikely you know people like that. But if you're a Protestant, if you know the evangelicals, right? Like the Bible said right here, like, and then there's like nothing else you can discuss. Because I mean, well, the Bible says it's like, okay, well, holy shit. Yeah, boomer theology, as people call it. Again, like, you need to make the distinction. A lot of people get upset when I talk about the Christianity. Look, it's kind of like individuals that like study about different cultures to be racist better. All right? Like, you try to understand other races to improve your racism. You don't want to be an uneducated racist. You want to be a cultural racist. You want to be like specific. If possible, even learn the other person's tongue so that you can be racist in their language. It's the same thing with me and Christianity. Like, I actually studied different denominations so that when I talk to a Catholic, I know exactly what to say. You'll never hear me say to an Orthodox priest, oh, but what about the church that diddles little kids? Because, like, I know the Orthodox church doesn't do that, right? So, like, there's a completely different conversation that you have. You need to, like, adjust, you know? You're not going to say to a Protestant, oh, but the church diddles kids. It's going to be like, what fucking church? I never diddled anyone, and this is not my fucking pope. Right? And then you look like an asshole. But if you're educated, if you actually know a little bit of theology, anyway, right? So, as I was saying, there are evangelicals out there, and you need to understand how evangelicalism is as a denomination. Okay, first of all, back in the day, you had the Chad Church, okay? Like the church of all churches. This was like the actual Christianity, if you will. The one that came from the Roman Empire when Constantine decided he's going to adopt Christianity as his religion. Okay, so like there was Christianity back then. There weren't other denominations. But after a while, they have a schism. You have the heresy, the Catholics, and then you have the Ortho Bros, right? Like the Chads. Anyway, these denominations, they basically consider themselves to be, like today, they consider themselves to be sister churches. Back then, they hated each other. But anyway, right, let's look at the Catholic, right? You need to understand how the Catholics did things in a medieval setting. Like, people think that the way the church is today is the same way that the church used to be in a medieval time. False. Okay? Back in medieval time, the church was the university, the academia, the keepers of knowledge. It was Google. It was like pretty much like when you say the cathedral, right? Like when you say the cathedral today, they're talking about that church. The cathedral in a political sense, right? Like during COVID, that tells the masses what to think, how to behave, right? It was that church. Now, what was interesting about Catholicism? Well, number one, it was a very political institution. It was kind of like the mainstream media today. Like, they got to set politics. They were the ones that were crowning the kings. They were the ones that were telling the peasant that the king is sent by God on earth. This is why the peasant literally bowed and kneeled in front of the king. Like the peasant unironically believed that the king has divinity. It's like a walking saint. It's like Warhammer 40k shit. And you see like a walking saint in front of you. All right? Like that's how they viewed it. Why? Because that's what their priest would say. Rebelling against the king was unthinkable because you're not rebelling against a human being. You're not rebelling against the system. You're rebelling against God. That's how the monarchy existed. Because you gotta wonder, it's like, okay, well, how the fuck did 10% of the population rule over 90% without representation, without anything? Well, this is the system, right? Like, you had the king with the aristocrats, and then you had the clergy, and the clergy was the one justifying. All right, anyway. Now, the Catholics, they would read the Bible in Latin. How many peasants do you think knew Latin? Absolutely no one, right? So, the way they held Mass was facing the altar away from the people and chanting in Latin. That was like the religious ceremony. You didn't have like the Pope, the priest talking to the right? It was like literally you go to church, you pay your taxes, and there were a lot of taxes for those times. And you looked at the Mass and like the Pope, I keep saying, the priest would chant in front of the altar. And then like he would talk a little bit with the peasants maybe about, you know, what's going on or like blah, blah, blah. But like the Bible stories, the Jesus, that shit didn't exist. I mean, it did exist, but you had to become a priest to learn about it, right? The peasants were told that, oh, well, life is about suffering and you need to toil harder and you need to follow the king and blah, 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 blah. And so it's like, okay, well, what did the peasant know about Jesus? Well, he would know about what's painted on the church's glasses, right? Like the glass thing with the devils and the pitchforks. And, you know, he may know a story or two about Jesus. But, like, you didn't have access to Latin. You didn't know knowledge. You couldn't afford the book. By the way, a book was as expensive as a Mercedes back then. You needed to kill at least 100 sheep in order to make a book. It was insanely expensive, right? So, like, that's why only the rich and the clergy had access to books. Anyway, right. Moving forward, talking about the Protestant heresy, right? How did it come to be? Well, as I mentioned, like, the church was a political institution. It had, like, various political ambitions. As all earthly institutions, it had people that were corrupt, like today. And certain kings didn't like that shit. Right? Now, I think, what was it, Henry? Is it King Henry that did it? I don't know the name. But some English twat didn't really understand how things are done. Like, there is one way that the priests behave in public, like most institutions, right? Like, one shit they tell the peasants, and another way they behave behind doors. Like, you can meet them in private, and you can tell them things. It's like, look, I need to operate a whorehouse. What's your cut? How much money do you want so you shut the fuck up? I'm not saying that you come and sanctify the place, but what I am saying is, like, can you not fucking see it? You know? Maybe you chastise one peasant or two that goes to the whorehouse, but, like, you don't shut it down. Now, that's the way you do politics in real life, okay? Not on the internet, but in the real world, this is how it's done. Right? So, like, for instance, let's say a king wants to have a little bit of extra income. And it's like, okay, well, what if I monetize a whorehouse? I'm like Baelish from Game of Thrones, like Littlefinger, right? I can't open a whorehouse next to the church. It's like, So you talk with the priest. You're like, oi, what is your cut? How much do you want? What do you want from me? Right? Like, just tell me. What the fuck do you want? I'll give you 5%. Is that enough? No, 10%? Jesus Christ, you're ripping me off. Okay, fine, 10%. 10% and you shut the fuck up. Or there's other ways to talk about it. Like the classic, I know you did, okay. I know you diddled. I know you did. I can make it go away. Just don't diddle again. But, like, we make it go away, but I open the whorehouse, right? This is how politics is being done. If you don't know about that, then you're at the kids' table. But, like, here at the grown-ups table, now you know. Well, apparently this king in Britain didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do that. So instead he wanted to start a heresy. And he decided to start Protestantism. And Protestantism, well, they abolished the whole ritual, the tradition, all of that shit, and they started reading the Bible in English. And from that it deviates, right? And then you have, like, the modern evangelicals. Why are the modern evangelicals a danger to society? Because they create Karanism. That's why. Like, modern evangelicals, think Melanie Mack. There are people that are the pastors, right? Melanie Mack claims she isn't. She's whatever. She's not preaching. She is, I think she's, like, spreading the gospel or something like that. Wink, wink. But anyway, right? The idea is, like, the way that the evangelicals operate. They don't really have tradition or ritual. You have a pastor that reads and interprets the Bible based on his opinion, and usually based on current events. So, like, they usually, like any person that reads the Bible, right? Like, it's kind of like when you tell a story about yourself, like, you're going to put yourself in a positive light. Like, if you're reading the Bible and you're seeing your sins there, you're going to downplay them, and you're going to up the sins you don't have, or vice versa, depending on the person. But, like, again, you don't really have a tradition. You don't really have, like, a way of interpreting things, right? It's like you're legging it a little bit. Now, obviously, when you have, like, different people doing that, you get different results. This is why, like, the evangelicals are the ones that constantly do the doomsday cults. You know, like notice, oh, this is the end of the empire, the end of the world. You don't see that shit in Orthodoxy. You know, like, Orthodox priests rarely say, oh my goodness, this event happened, therefore the end is coming, right? But meanwhile, with the evangelicals, they're obsessed with this shit. They're obsessed with the rapture. They're obsessed with it. And so, like, one of the things that they are obsessed, and you'll notice this with the boomers, they're obsessed with the second coming. And so, like, there are a couple of biblical prophecies that, if fulfilled, you manage to get closer to the second coming. One of the biblical prophecies is the formation of the Israeli state. right? It says so in the Bible. So basically, if you help accomplish that, you're getting closer, right? And this is why the boomers overwhelmingly have voted pro-Israel. I'm not even kidding. Like they actually, there are documentaries that you can see made in the 90s or early 2000s where you have an evangelical like going into the fields of Armageddon and being like, oh, so these are the fields of Armageddon. This is where Jesus is going to come and he's going to fight the armies of Satan. And they're literally taking it literally because like they don't interpret the Bible through tradition, through other theological understandings or anything like that. You just fucking read it. And they believe the earth is 6,000 years old. And they will argue with scientists, like, no, it is 6,000 years old. And you're like, dude. And they will then change all of the scientific knowledge. Obviously, not all evangelicals, but a significant number of them do, to the point where, as you pretty much said it accurately, it's called boomer theology. Orthodox have a better theology. I kind of agree with that. I do think that Orthodox like create places that are far more chill. The thing with Protestants, like they're not all bad, you know. Like every denomination has like positive and negative aspects. I'm not saying that being an evangelical is bad. They're really great at growing the GDP. Like this is something common. Like that's why you get the mega churches and shit. They're really great. Like if you have the mentality of the boomer, which is stoicism, create work as part of your identity, right? Like you're not your name anymore. You're a doctor, right? Like that is your identity now. Work from cradle to grave. No fun. Everything you do must have some monetary compensation. Well, if you have that mindset, yeah, GDP goes up, sure. The downsides, of course, is that you burn out an entire generation and your kids will hate you. Like, your kids will absolutely despise you if you grow up like that. Especially when you go with thought policing to extreme. That's how you actually get the woke generation. The woke generation has the same principles from the WASP, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, but they apply it differently. It's kind of like inheriting the hardware, but have a different software patch, if you will. Right? So, like, the same cancel culture, persecution, thought policing, like, all of that shit, and this is why the woke kids hate the woke. The exact same reason, right? Like the reason the woke hated their parents and did literally 180 just out of spite. It's like, what would my dad do? Well, I'm going to do the exact opposite. That's how you got with the woke. And this is probably how Generation Zyklon, right? Like Generation Z is going to behave. The opposite to the woke. Like anything that the woke did, we're going to behave the opposite. They keep the tools. Like they keep the hardware. You know? No context, no nuance. They're not going to champion free speech and liberty. No, we're going to just be as authoritarian as possible to prevent the woke from happening. And what's going to end up is their kids are going to hate them. Like the thing is, like, the woke already had maximum authoritarianism. They already had, like, chokeholds in every aspect of the culture and they lost. I'm just saying, like, maybe having a chokehold on culture isn't the right way. Maybe the right way is having a little bit of moderation, knowing when to apply which tool. Like, life is a little bit more complex. Kind of like the Orthodox are doing, right? Notice that Eastern Europe isn't dealing with the woke shit. Or the Russians. They're not dealing with the woke shit. It is what it is. Did I ignore the whole Luther movement? Well, I had to, man. I had to, because I only have 1 hour. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do? Like, take you from A to Z? I just sparked some curiosity in the listeners. Like, go do your own research. Anyway. The Catholics invented purgatory. Yeah, purgatory only exists in Catholicism. See, this is why you need to learn denominations to be a better atheist. If you tell a Protestant about the purgatory, they will look at you like you're some sort of anomaly. Like what do you mean purgatory? The fuck is that? Anyway. This was supposed to be a Jewish stream. I see. Well, let's see what the ADL has to say, and then we can wrap it up. We got 1 more minute of this gentleman talking.
Now, globally, the numbers are even more stark. So when we did our first global survey of 100 plus countries in 2014. And we work with the market research firm Ipsos, based here in Paris, to do these surveys. In 2014, we found that 26% of adults worldwide had entrenched or extreme anti-Semitic attitudes.
They have Steam accounts. 26%. 26% of adults worldwide have posted Pepe's. Or did the okay gesture. Oh my God, V, what are you doing? Why are you trivializing? I'm quoting the fucking ADL. Like, if they're telling me that okay side is anti-Semitism and Pepe the Frog is anti-Semitism, right? Why would I not assume that like 26% of people like that is enough, right? Like, that is enough to make you anti-Semitic.
26%. That's more than 1 billion people. We thought that was a...
Yeah, but like, hold on a little bit. How many Muslims are in the world? Like that would be a given, wouldn't it? Due to my understanding of how like Islamic tradition and the dogma works. I may be wrong, right? But I have a feeling that if I go on the streets of Qatar or more recently the United Kingdom or France, I will find a lot more anti-Semitism there than I find in my country. Maybe I'm wrong, like you're the guy with the study. But I'm just saying, like usually, right, like if your work is in the United States, right, and you're now looking worldwide and you're counting the Muslim populations, well, maybe you're going to get some results that, like nothing that you do in the United States is going to change the mind of the people in the Middle East.
A lot. When we ran the survey last year in 2024, that percentage went from 26% to 46%.
I wonder what caused it. I wonder what caused. Now here's the thing, right? I actually know a lot of people, because I'm a content creator, okay? And so I speak with a lot of people, and I know people that used to be very liberal, very open-minded, and then became anti-Semitic. How did that happen? Did you guys notice that, right? Like, did you guys like know anyone that used to be a level-headed, cool guy, hang around with Jewish friends, and all of a sudden he becomes Elmo? He becomes like Grok after the patch? How did that happen? Well, I'll tell you how it happened. They made a joke and they got banned. Or they saw one of their friends getting banned. Or they saw a content creator getting banned. Or they saw the police arresting someone. It's like, what the fuck did they do? Oh, he did hate speech. Or he noticed, like various organizations like the ADL fucking with their gaming platforms. Oh my God, V, it's so trivial. Exactly, it is so petty. Why is the ADL doing it? It is so fucking petty, isn't it? Out of all the things, like, you're going after gaming platforms, you're going after the circus. It is so fucking petty. Why are you instigating it, right? Like, why are you getting upset over jokes? Banning people over jokes, like reading their social media status, reading their account over jokes. You're messing with gaming processors and shit. You're using payment processors to weaponize them against content creators that say like the most trivial shit, right? And so like this is how the anti-Semitism is being created. And yeah, like if you're going to associate all Jewish people with Israel, because like that's another thing, right? Like if you criticize Israel, immediately you get called an anti-Semite. Okay, fine. Well, when Israel does something that most people, especially in the United States, who are now currently a generation that's voting for non-intervention. Just non-intervention. Just stop doing conflicts. Just stop fighting. Just stop fighting. Right? And your country is fighting. Like, of course it's going to go down in the polls. Now the interesting thing is the woke ideology. I wonder, like, why aren't you having a conversation with the professors that push for woke ideology? Because, like, if you have an ideology that says, well, white nations are capitalistic, patriarchal, cisgender, systemic, racist, blah, 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 and then they look at the Middle East and you have a conflict between Israel and Palestine, right? Like, who do you think the left is going to support? They look at Benjamin Netanyahu, he looks like a cisgender straight white man to most leftists. They can't, like, they're not, you didn't teach them how to think. You teach them what to think, right? So they're eyeballing Netanyahu, it looks pretty cisgender to me, that doesn't look like a trans person. I'm just saying, you know. Bread and circus is a Roman saying. Bread and circus is actually so fucking true. It is like the universal pillar that holds a society together. I'm not kidding. Like, when food doesn't exist, people riot. Like, some of the worst riots in the world are food riots. Why? Because people become desperate and people become hopeless. Because they're not just rioting for them, but they're rioting for their children. Like, my children are starving. So they're rioting. The circus is also really important. Because, like, without the circus, people start talking. They start debating. They start having ideas. You don't want people to debate. Usually you want people to shut the fuck up and have, like, a small voting block that debates, so it's easy to manipulate. But, like, if everyone starts talking about politics, big yikes. And usually, right, like, fucking with the circus doesn't mean that the people that are in the circus are going to be on your side. No, like, fucking with the circus means that by default, every single person that's in the circus is going to hate your guts, regardless of what that is. So that's why you leave the bread alone, and you don't fuck with the circus. Unless you're in Russia. In Russia, you have bread, circus, and vodka. And you leave the vodka alone as well. No Russian president or czar that has fucked with the prices of vodka managed to stay in power for more than 2 years. Look it up. Like, every single Russian leader that messed with the price of vodka was deposed in 2 years. Anyway. Twitter is the best modern day circus. Well, that is a problem. It's not supposed to be. Like, the circus is stuff that people unwind. Right? Like, they come after a hard day at work, they watch Pagliacci, and then they manage to cope for the next day. You're not supposed to, like, get the circus that antagonizes people or makes them more angry. Like, what the fuck are you doing if that's the case? Vodka is both the bread and the circus. Right, let me see who I'm going to raid now. We're going to be raiding someone, chat. Let's see who deserves our attention. We got redirect. A VTuber. Should I inflict you on a VTuber? I don't want to inflict you on Arch. I keep raiding Arch. Motherfucker doesn't even say thank you. Motherfucker doesn't even say thank you anymore. Did you notice that shit? Huh? Am I the only one that notices? Every single time I raid Arch, not even a peep, not even a, oh wow, V, that is so nice of you. You raided me. Oh goodness. He doesn't deserve you, chat. Still, apparently, I don't have really that many people to raid, so yeah, I'm not going to raid anyone. How about that? I don't think Arch is streaming either. Thank you, Omega2, for the 3 years of buy remorse. I'm looking forward for 3 more, and I'm going to go and do videos on my other platforms now. So see you guys later. Take care.